Hi, everybody, and thank you for coming back to Living To Do's review of Bel Air, Episode 3, Yamacraw. In this episode, they pick up where Will was found with drugs in his backpack at school. So he's being questioned by Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil about the drugs, and they're also questioning Carlton. Looks like they're doing it in two separate rooms, but then they edit it together. When they ask Will denies having anything to do with drugs. He doesn't know where they came from. He suspects that they came from Connor, Carlton's friend. When Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil question Carlton about the drugs, Carlton tells his parents that he has nothing to do with the drugs. And when they asked if Connor had something to do with it, Carlton says that Connor didn't have anything to do with it. He wouldn't have anything to do with it. That's not what he does. But we all know that he does know. He does know that Connor did put those drugs in Will's backpack, and he's sitting here lying to his parents about it. Meanwhile, this is a serious offense that's happening to Will, and he's partially at fault. And he's not stepping up when he's directly asked by his parents. So the school has given Will in-school suspension. So he does have to go to school, and he sits in a class all day, I guess, while he's supposed to be doing work and was being monitored by a teacher. Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv are going to the school to talk to the principal about Will's situation and the drugs found in his backpack. The principal assures Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil that a thorough investigation has been conducted, and that is why Will is in school suspension for drugs found in his backpack. Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv want additional information, details on the thorough investigation. Basically, he tells them that they conducted, I guess, interviews with students and the staff, and the drugs were found in his backpack. Therefore, he's guilty. Not ever thinking that these drugs can be planted in the backpack. Aunt Viv has noticed several cameras in the school, especially a school like that. I think it's the fifth best school in the nation. And they got all these rich kids. Of course, they're being monitored by cameras, high-tech cameras, I suspect. But the principal never did view any of the cameras because it would take too long. And this is a serious offense. It doesn't matter how long it takes. You should try at least to be looking at it. So that upsets Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil. They get in his face a little bit. Next thing we know, Will is not in suspension anymore. He can go back to class. During the course of the school day, Will has lunch with Lisa, or he's sitting down to have lunch, and she sits down with him. They fool around, flirting a little bit, though she says they're just friends, and she accidentally gets mustard on his lapel jacket, and he can't get it off, so he just turns his jacket inside out, the lining showing, and that's how he just started this trend of wearing it inside out with like a little bit of a hip-hop flair of the lining of the jacket. It looked like a style, actually, like somebody meant to wear it that way. And so he's just setting trends at the new school, and I'm sure they think he's cool and hip and whatnot, just being himself. Meanwhile, Carlton is talking to Connor about the drugs that were found, that he planted, actually, that Connor planted in Will's backpack. And Carlton tells Connor to do something about it. They need a free will. He believes his parents are going to find out one way or another, so I guess it's best to come clean. So the next scene, we hear that Will's clear of these drug charges. Actually, Uncle Phil's talking to Jeffrey about his voter campaign, and he's going to a crawfish boil with his brothers. Basically, in talking with Jeffrey, we learned that Will, somebody came forward and about planting the drug, somebody who doesn't go to the school, so everybody's hands are clean this way. Um, so Uncle Phil tells Jeffrey he's going to bring the boys to the frat brothers crawfish boil, and meanwhile Aunt Viv is going to have her soror sisters visit. At the crawfish boil, um, the guys are hanging around. A bunch of frat guys are hanging together. Uncle Phil's trying to network to get the black vote. All these frat brothers of the community, they can reach out to whoever they're associated with, like a reverend at the church. He's there, Robert Lamont. Uncle Phil tries to talk to him. Reverend Lamont kind of distance himself and disses Uncle Phil. The boys, Carlton and Will, look on and they see this. Carlton is pretty much thinking for himself. He wants to talk to some guy about having an internship so he can, it will look good on his college records to go to his Ivy League school. Will sees this and he gets on stage and he tries to rile up the guys, get Uncle Phil to do some of the stomp dancing, and all the frat guys join in. And I think it just cleared the air a little bit for the guys to fellowship more with Uncle Phil, even though he wasn't there for them in their time of need. Apparently, there was a frat brother who needed help, and then when the community needed help, Uncle Phil wasn't there. And now that he needs help, he's come to them, and the Reverend was a little bit closed off to him, but because of this dancing and celebrating a little bit, the Reverend is going to give Uncle Phil his support. At the sorority, or the sorority sisters get together at Aunt Viv's house, and basically Aunt Viv has them over. One reason is to big up Hillary and her culinary skills and her possible catering business, and this is a good place for her to network with her sorority sisters. And so when she's trying to big up Hillary, and the sisters want to know when she's going to pledge, she makes it clear to them that she's dropped out of college, which embarrasses her mother. And also, one of her sorority sisters set up a meeting that she had with with the cuisine people from the previous episode that Hillary turned down because they weren't looking to take her as she was. They were looking for her to scale back, tone down her culture dinner, the dinners that she made, the recipes handed down to her from her grandmothers. And she thought it was a little racist, and she made a viral video of that. Well, Kendra, one of the sorority sisters, brings this to Aunt Viv's attention. Aunt Viv had no idea this was going on, and she wanted an apology because she has to mend the bridge back to these people that she's built a relationship with. She has to rebuild that relationship with them because of what Hillary did, and she's looking for an apology. Later, the sorority sisters, Aunt Viv and Hillary, look at the viral video that Hillary made, and they're in support of Hillary because she stood up for herself and the culture. And even though it did burn a bridge, they thought she did a good job. She did what she was supposed to do. And if that friend should have done the same thing, the sorority sisters believe that Kendra should have stood up for the culture when they tried to minimize what Hillary was actually doing. Um, After which, there was a basketball game that Will had and a lacrosse game that Carlton had, and they were at the same time. And Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil were going to split their time between the two games. Will is out there on the court, and he's on the basketball court, and he's exciting to watch, and he's scoring, and the game is close. He's doing really, really well. They're going to go, Aunt Viv and Uncle Phil are going to get up and go to see their son play lacrosse. And it got so good, they were going to give the game 5 more minutes at Will's game because it was really exciting. Back at lacrosse, Carlton's out there playing, not having a good game. In fact, fouling out. He was too aggressive out on the field with one of the opponents. The referee kicks him out of the game, and his coach kicks him out of off the field back to the locker room, where he goes and he snorts some more of his white powder in the locker room. As he's doing it, he hears the cheer of the basketball game happening. So he goes to look out at the game, and he sees the final seconds of the game. Will has the ball. He makes the winning shot. The crowd is cheering him on. And he sees his mom and his dad and his sister sitting there cheering him on. The school is, excited. Their school won the game. They're uplifting Will literally, and Will is up on his teammate's shoulders, hands folded, just enjoying it all, acting like the king, like the crown that his mother's always telling him to put on. And he just made um, he just made lemonade out of the lemons he was given. He's made a new start in a new school, and he's doing well. Whereas Carlton was the star of the school. This type of school, intellect makes you the star, and all eyes were on him. He's up there snorting drugs. His anxiety level's high. Things are just not going right for poor old Carlton. And the last scene, we see that back in Philly, Rashad Denton, the drug dealer that was after Will, that drove him out of Philly, is shown a video on a cell phone. It's a video of Will back in Bel Air. His basketball video has gone viral, and now the drug dealer knows where he is. And so that was the end of the scene. So I guess we're going to see more of Rashad Denton, the drug dealer from West Philly, possibly coming out to Bel Air to stir up trouble for poor Will and his family. I'm liking this show. I like the drama of the show. I like how they rebooted the characters. It's just more real. It's interesting. I think the writing, I can't wait to find out how they're going to, all these characters are going to unfold, and bringing out new characters from West Philly. It's a lot different than the original comedy show. So hopefully you'll stay with me and enjoy the ride of Bel Air. And hopefully you will like, share, and subscribe. And I thank you in advance. And also, if you can also find me on Fanbase. I'm also on Fanbase with the same name, Living to Do, a new app. A lot of people are, and creators are, and influencers and creators are going over to. It's like Instagram, TikTok, Clubhouse, and all that. So join me there and follow me there on Fanbase. And for now, that's it for now. And next week I'll review episode 4. I gotta go because I got living to do.